Alright guys, welcome back to the final Super Mario Maker 2 video. Well, of the new Super Mario Brothers U-Log anyway. Anyway, it's time to begin the final world now, as we now tackle through the last of the game and tackle through all the custom levels in World 8. Oh boy, this is going to be difficult. But without further ado, let's get into it. My boy, out of the worlds in the game that I have made this difficult in general, I'm gonna have to say this world is no joke in comparison to anything I have shown so far. Listen, I know I got crazy enough with World 8 in the last gameplay when I went through Super Mario Maker 1, but Super Mario Maker 2 takes that to a whole different level now. All of its levels are much harder to deal with now than it was in the past, so you better believe there's gonna be some tough levels coming at you in this one. In any case, we're going to start off in World 8-1 first. Now, here's the thing about World 8 that makes it a bit different from the other worlds. 8 of its levels are all based on castle levels, meaning this is kind of a lava-themed kind of joint. And some of the levels in general, when you look at this, are much tougher than what they were previously, meaning that they're not going to be as simplistic as the ones from earlier. There's going to be a ton of crazy challenges to go through in World 8, so you better believe there's going to be some tough ones that you're going to have to deal with here. World 8-1 is no exception to that. World 8-1 is actually the only originally made castle where it has 100 seconds on its clock, and you have to beat this level by using the Tri-Bone Shell power-up. Similar to how, back in World 5, there were two different levels in which you had to beat both the helmets, whether it would be the Buzzy Beetle or the Spiny Helmet. This one forces you to complete it with the Tri-Bone Shell power-up. But it ain't gonna be as simplistic as 1, 2, 3, because you'll also have to deal with a ton of lava levels while going through the level. And everyone knows what happens when you get hit by a lava bubble. So, you really need to put your skills to the test. If you think you have what it takes to take on this level, then take it on. But by all means, be very careful. You never know what could come about when it comes to this level. So, you better get prepared for this one. But anyway, with that being said, let's jump into World 8 and begin the first stage. Reach the goal while wearing a Tri-Bone Shell. So, Super Mario Maker 2's World 8, much like in Super Mario Maker 1, also contains two ghost houses just like before. However, they aren't as nice as they were back in the previous game. Just like in World 6 and 7, these two both take place at night, but have a lot of difficult challenges associated with them. World 8's first ghost house is no different. However, here's the biggest difference with these two ghost houses. They're all set to 100 seconds, meaning you'll have to go through the stage as quick as possible in order to beat the stage so that you don't lose time. Regardless, the main goal of the stage is to grab a POW block and make it throughout the rest of the stage with that POW block. It ain't gonna be as simplistic as 1, 2, 3 because you're gonna have to deal with a load of obstacles along the way, like cranes, unforeseen things, and all that jazz. So you better believe there's gonna be a bunch of stuff coming at you. So, let's get to it. Reach the goal while holding a POW block. Okay, World 8-2 is very different from the previous two that we just encountered. And there's a good reason for this. This is the first of 5 levels in World 8 to be special levels. They are created to be one of the toughest challenges in the game that you'll encounter, besides just the other levels that I've already discussed so far. This one is no exception. This is particularly a nighttime desert stage, similar to what happened in World 2-5, but is taking up the scales to a notch. The basic gimmick to beating this level is you need to defeat 2 different Lakitus. But that's going to be easier said than done because of the sandstorm that has kicked in this level. Not only that, but this is the only special level in the game to actually contain a secret boss, which is actually a returning one from Super Mario Maker 1, because if you remember from the World 3 Castle gameplay, you should remember that big Parathwomp served as your boss. Well, he returns again in this game as this particular level's boss, and you need to beat him by finding a hidden star item, which requires you to beat him in order to exceed his key so you can get to the end of the level. There's no other way to beat him except that, so keep that in mind. Regardless, let's get this over with and beat World 8-2. Let's get into it. Reach the goal after defeating all 2 Lakitus. Alright guys, time to move on to World 8's first tower. This kind of goes through the same agenda as World 6's and 7's first towers, because yet again you have to go through a similar kind of format to what happened last time. Of course, we need a harder version of the previous tower, etc., etc. In this case, this is a harder version of World 5's tower, since of course Parabowser Jr. is back once more with a Fiery Jr. Clown card this time. So, let's go ahead and get right into it. Reach the goal after defeating Parabowser Jr. in his Fiery Jr. Clown car. Back in Super Mario Maker 1, when I mentioned about a couple of castle levels that are harder versions of the previous incarnations back in Super Mario Maker 1? Well, that formula has returned in this game, but it isn't as nice as it was back in the last game. Because unlike last time where it usually has 100 seconds on the time limit and forces you to go through the entire castle while going through all of the mazes and such like that, this time, it's a rush level, forcing you to really get through the entire level and grab a key, and then get to the end with that key, so that you can beat the level. But you have to do it all without taking any damage at all, which, let me tell you, isn't an easy task, especially with these levels that I'm going to show you now. And unlike the other levels in the game, they're the only 3 to contain a very small amount of seconds. And World 8-3 is no exception to that. This is a much harder version of World 3's castle, where it now has a bunch of boos around the entire level, and forces you to use a fire flower to get past those spinies and such like that while going through the level. It's not as simple as 1, 2, 3, and you only get 70 seconds for this level. You better use them wisely, because this level doesn't mess around. Anyway, let's get into it. Reach the goal without taking damage. Alright, moving on to World 8-4. This is the final airship to take place at night, and is again a harder version of World 7-3. And this time we have to face Parabowser in a clown car. So, yeah, another difficult stage, another difficult level. Let's get into it. Reach the goal after defeating Parabowser. Okay, so World 8-5 is made to be a level that is similar to that of World 4-2, but is actually a harder version of that. This is another special level that is taking place at night, similar to what happened in World 4-5, of course, where the entire jungle area took place at night and had a bunch of poisonous waters. This is no exception to that. And as you can see, there are tons of obstacles to dodge while going through this level. This one kind of has the same objective as the last one in World 4-2, where you have to beat it with a Yoshi, except in this case, you have to beat it with a red Yoshi in hand, which thankfully there's a ton of them in this level that you can use, but you'll need to ride on one to the end of the level to finish this up. So that being said, let's get into it. Reach the goal while riding Yoshi. Okay, so World 8 Second Tower is another nighttime tower stage, but this one's a harder version of the previous tower that we've encountered, World 7 Second Tower, as the level now features more obstacles to dodge than what happened before. Most of the platformers are mostly gone, and the fact that, of course, Para Boom Boom now serves as your mini-boss, and the fact that the bullet turrets are now much more powerful, sending out Para Hammer Brothers and Para Sledge Brothers. Yeah. This level ain't playing by no games, so let's go ahead and get right up to it. Reach the goal after defeating Para Boom Boom. Alright, World 8-6 follows through the same agenda as World 8-3 that I discussed, where it's another level where you have to rush through a harder castle in the same way like the last level that I showed. This one's a harder version of World 2's castle specifically, because all the saw blades are now replaced by bumpers, there are more obstacles to dodge along the way, and all the skewers are replaced with banzai bills. You have to also beat this stage without taking damage again, as well as the fact that there is, of course, 50 seconds on its time limit. Yep, it's a whole lot stricter than the last one was, but if you think this one is strict enough, wait till you see the last one, my friend. But anyway, let's get into it. Reach the goal without taking damage. Alright, time to encounter our third special level. This time, World 8-7. This is some sort of a snow nighttime level in the same way that World 3-5 was. But here's the catch with this level. You have to defeat 4 Sledge Brothers in the same way like you would in World 4-4, where you have to defeat 4 Hammer Brothers on parachutes. However, this one is a lot harder because since it takes place in the snow area at night, this ultimately means that all the platforms are very slippery, and you also have to deal with fast-moving blue snake blocks along the way. So, you really need to time your jumps and aim your fireballs in the correct direction so you can get rid of the Sledge Brothers, because this one ain't playing by no games. So, let's get into World 8-7 and get it over with. Reach the goal after defeating all 4 Sledge Brothers. Without a doubt, welcome to the last ghost house of the day, World 8's second ghost house. Now like I said, without a doubt, this ghost house does not play. The gimmick of beating this ghost house is you need to clear it with the Star Invincibility power. This is the only way you can beat this level. This is a harder version of World 3's ghost house, and there are large amounts of obstacles to deal with while going through this level, so you better believe that this stage is going to be tough. So, you better keep on your toes, because those superstars are going to be very helpful to beat this stage. So, let's get into it. Reach the goal while holding a superstar. It can't be Siri. World 8's third tower has got to be the hardest one that I have made so far. This tower is hard on purpose because this specific tower just in general has a bunch of obstacles to deal with. Very precise jumps from one platform to another, having to deal with Kaizo tricks and bombs, and having to deal with tight platforms in between thwomps. This stage is everything to become a difficult tower. But the most difficult thing is actually the mini-bosses. Instead of facing just Bowser Jr. or just Boom Boom by themselves, you now have to face against both of them at once in one mini-boss fight. I'm not joking. You do actually have to face both of them at once in one battle. And it ain't as simplistic as 1, 2, 3, so yeah. The gimmick is still to get a P-switch, but I would advise getting rid of them while holding the P-switch so you don't have to deal with them as much. But anyways, let's go finish up this level. And get ready for the final challenge. Reach the goal while holding a P-switch. My boy, if you thought the first two were not that bad and that it couldn't get much worse than that, then do I have a treat for you. World 8-8 is one of the most difficult levels I think I've ever made in Super Mario Maker 2 history, and it should be no question as to why. This level is basically a harder version of World 1's castle again, much like World 8-3 and 8-6, but done in the most ridiculous way possible. There are tons of obstacles to dodge here. The time is set to 40 seconds. You're given a mission to beat it without taking damage, and there are huge amounts of saw blades throughout this entire level. This level is no joke compared to anything I've made so far. You really need to be precise with your jumps and really make sure you don't get hit throughout the entire level, because there's so much that can hit you that if you make even the slightest mistake, you're going to have to restart the entire level all over again. And I'm not joking when I say that you're going to probably fail more than a couple times, because this level is not showing any mercy when it comes to time. Time is of the essence here. So, you better praise yourself for this one. Reach the goal without taking damage. Alright, have to get rid of that frustrating level. Anyway, moving on to World 8-9. This is the fourth special level in World 8, and this one is a ground nighttime stage. This kind of follows through the same kind of agenda as World 1-6, back when we last encountered World 1. However, this level's a little different. This one introduces a new power-up exclusive in nighttime levels, specifically in ground nighttime levels anyway, the Rotten Mushroom. This kind of acts like a poison mushroom as it hurts you if you touch it. And, of course, throughout this entire level, you'll actually have to use them in order to get rid of certain little crevices throughout the level. So, yeah, while also avoiding extended chain chomps and all that jazz, you do need to use those poison mushrooms to get through the level. The level also forces you to complete it as Super Mario as well, and is the only level that forces you to do this. So, let's get into it. Reach the goal as Super Mario. World 8-10 has got to be the hardest level I think I've made so far. Not only does this consist of an upside-down ground level in the same way like World 5-5 was, but this also contains a large amount of booze and a ton of precise jumps. And when I say a ton of precise jumps, I mean seriously a ton of precise jumps. You need to really make sure that your jumps are accurate to beat this stage, because this level ain't playing by no games. You can actually use a cheat and go all the way to the left corner so you don't get hit by any of the ruckus below it, but I may showcase the real way of doing it later. Now, keep in mind, I will actually change this later in 2020 because I'm going to update the stage a bit to be much more difficult. But I'll get into that later. Regardless, let's get into it. Reach the goal without taking damage for the last time. This is it, y'all. The final level of World 8. Welcome to World 8's final castle. This is the final stage I made for this game in the world. And yeah, it's time to finally finish this up. Though, just like before, I don't play by no rules comparing to the last couple that we've tackled, so you know that this is going to be a tough one. This consists of every boss we fought so far, including Boom Boom and Bowser Jr. again. But technically, you have to only beat Kamek and Jr. and Boom Boom to get the keys. But you have to complete this with a POW block in hand. And you only get one shot at this, so let's go. Reach the goal while holding a POW block. bruh. That was stressful. But we were finally able to complete every single level in World 8. However, don't expect this to be the end of Super Mario Maker 2 just yet. No. Listen, this may be over for all of the new Super Mario Bros. U levels in Super Mario Maker 2, but I am actually planning to come back into this mode again to go through all the levels again next year, as there's going to be some new updates associated with the deal. And one of the updates will actually be mentioned next time when we come back for all the Super Mario 3D World levels, which I'm still working on, but don't worry, I'll get that thing done as soon as possible. But regardless, guys, I do hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'll see you next time when I come back for the next episode, as always, to tackle through the next joint. So, till next time, guys, I'll see you later. Until next time, bye.